Greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet. Today we are going to be talking about fleeting fame and fleeing flames. Now, in case y'all haven't noticed, most of the country, it is a tad bit hot outside. Not only us, but this apparently is happening up in Canada as well. You know, Canada, America's top hat, the place with all the snow and ice and glaciers and moose and shit. Yeah, that place. Well, there is a small little village north of Vancouver, British Columbia, named Lytton. And Lytton recently set 3 consecutive days of records for the hottest temperature ever in North America, surpassing the previous high in Las Vegas, which had been somewhere between 117 and 118 degrees. Lytton broke 120. In fact, it has been so hot in Canada on the whole as a nation that they have had more than 500 sudden deaths. Literally, when it is so hot, people just keel over and die. So, I want to tell you what happened to Lytton, the little village that got to 120 degrees. And then I want to show you why a little village somewhere in the northern part of Canada should be important to everybody who is watching this, regardless of where they live. Here we go. So after 3 record-setting days of temperatures and shattering the previous high recorded in Las Vegas, Nevada, Lytton spontaneously combusted and burnt to the fucking ground. Firefighters have not determined the source of the flames, but said that they didn't come from the 350-hectare George Road wildfire, which is burning south of the community in another part of British Columbia. Lytton Mayor Jan Polderman ordered an evacuation for the entire village of about 250 people at about 6 p.m. The mayor said it didn't take long for the fire to devastate his community. Quote, basically a fire engulfed the town. It took about 15 minutes. After ordering the evacuation, the mayor drove into Lytton one more time, something he described as, quote, one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life. These structures were engulfed. There was smoke everywhere. The wires were down. Polderman said, adding that he managed to pick up one man before driving out of the village. It is unclear whether everyone managed to escape. Now, as to how the fire started, short of spontaneous combustion, well, turns out there is a larger macro scale reason for this sort of thing happening, and this is what it looks like. This is satellite imaging from over the area. It shows massive storm-producing Pyrocumulonimbus plumes. Yeah, that's a lot of syllables, and I'm going to tell you what that is in just a minute. However, I wanted to go over a few different views of this so you understand just how fucked the entire area is. Keep in mind, this is north of Vancouver, which is north of Seattle, okay? It's not a place that usually gets to 120 degrees. This is the same, only it shows all the electricity and lightning that is happening inside these clouds. Do you see all the little crackly lights? That's lightning. Again, I'm going to explain this phenomenon to you in just a moment. This is what all the fires look like when they start burning and raging out of control after all the clouds and the lightning roll through. And this is a satellite image looking from the east instead of the west. Now I'm going to put these side by side and give you just a little more perspective before we talk about the specifics. Now, either of those satellite images, all of those clouds, that large plume put together, either one of those screens, roughly 40,000 square acres. Roughly the size of Ohio. You know, Ohio, an entire state. That's how big that is. And no, it isn't just happening in Canada and the United States. This is what it looks like in Siberia. You know, that place famous for snow. Literally, the only thing Siberia is famous for is hundreds of feet of snow. That's what it looks like in Siberia, which, ecologically speaking, roughly mirrors the center and northern part of Canada. So as you can see, halfway around the world, similar conditions, the same phenomenon continues to happen. All right, let's learn a little bit about pyrocumulonimbus clouds. What are they, and how come they are setting off giant electrical firestorms the size of Ohio? So in a nutshell, the pyrocumulonimbus cloud is caused by fire, smoke, and intense heat that creates a chimney of smoke. And the chimney of hot smoke broadens out and gets huge, and it travels upward. Then it hits a part of the atmosphere that's high enough that it's cool, and cool air gets fed into that large, hot smoke cloud. And because you have so many different extreme pressures and temperatures, lightning forms because it is very unstable and erratic, and it is atmospheric forces and temperatures from varying ends of the spectrum at the same time, which essentially causes weather chaos, and it actually creates a real cloud that is now no longer smoke, pulling in the moisture from the cool air and all of the static energy and all of the heat from the smoke. And then it starts rolling around and throwing lightning bolts down like fucking Zeus. And the lightning bolts in the middle of 120-degree weather when there's no moisture, well, they tend to light everything else on fire. They dealt with this in 2019 down in Australia, and it burned roughly a quarter of the entire continent. So what can you do as an individual? Well, from a macro level, not much really. This is a global ecological issue, weather patterns, and increasing chaos and hot and cold spikes. We knew this was going to happen. People have been saying it for decades. And of course, politicians and the people who fund their campaigns decided to just bullshit about it for 30 years and do nothing. So yes, you can continue to put pressure on your legislators to possibly keep debating this for another 30 or 40 years. But as far as you and your immediate people, I cannot suggest enough emergency preparedness. Yes, have a boogie bag. Yes, have one in your car and in your house if you can. Know what the quickest emergency route out of your area is, both via a highway or freeway and local surface streets. Talk to your neighbors, get organized, because it doesn't look like it is going to stop raining fire anytime soon. Till next time, my name is James, I'm from the internet, and I am out. Peace.